I got a funny story involving Arthur. So back in elementary school, this was going back to when the kids were first allowed to check out chapter books. I was really unfamiliar with any chapter book franchises or novels or anything of the sort. So I ended up checking out so many Arthur chapter books in elementary school that my librarian caught on within the first year and basically said, there are other chapter books to check out. And that's when I got into other franchises like A Series of Unfortunate Events, the book series from Lemony Snicket, for instance. But we're not here to talk about A Series of Unfortunate Events. We're here to talk about Arthur, more specifically, what's going to happen with the final episodes. The Arthur video. Hey everybody, Blood Moon Bobby here. So we heard a while ago that the PBS Kids show Arthur was coming to an end after an amazing 25 years, but the specifics of how the show was going to end remained unclear until now. So Variety said that Arthur will conclude with 4 new episodes that culminate in a flash forward with grown-up versions of the characters. These episodes will air as part of a 25th anniversary marathon, which will feature more than 250 episodes and movie specials from the show. The marathon will air on PBS Kids and live stream on the PBS Kids YouTube channel from February 16th through the 21st. The 4 new episodes themselves will air on PBS stations and stream for free on PBS Kids on February 21st. According to Entertainment Weekly, they said that these episodes will feature Arthur and Thren solving a mystery, seeing a silent film, learn what it's like to be a reporter, help a grieving friend, go on a family vacation, and learn a hint of their futures from a fortune-telling game. I wonder if the latter of which will have something to do about seeing the characters as grown-ups. And PBS also said that even after the series ends, they will still be producing Arthur-related content, and this is what they had to say, quote, "New content from Arthur will continue rolling out in 2022 and beyond, including a podcast, video shorts that tackle timely and compelling topics, and digital games. The 25 seasons of Arthur will continue to be available on PBS Kids," unquote. Now, as for the author of the Arthur books, Mark Brown, he'll be releasing a new book on January 25th called Believe in Yourself, What We Learned from Arthur, and this is what Brown had to say about the show ending, quote, "It's amazing that what began as a simple bedtime story for my son eventually evolved into over 100 books and a collaboration with GBH and PBS Kids that would last 25 years. Now more than ever, the last line of my first book, Arthur's Nose, rings true. There is a lot more to Arthur than his nose." So the thing about Arthur is that even though it's a show I don't really talk about too much here on the Blood Moon Bobby YouTube channel, it's certainly a show that had quite an impact on me as a kid. Among all the PBS Kids shows, I would say that Arthur was definitely my favorite, right up there with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and Seven Little Monsters. And the thing that I liked about Arthur is that it doesn't function in a typical way you would expect a PBS Kids show to work. Instead, the way it worked was that it taught its lessons through really relatable stories, almost as though you're living through the experiences just like the characters were in the show themselves. And also, I also liked how, even though, Arthur was clearly starring, got a lot of episodes, the series also had a habit of making episodes that were dedicated to his friends and going through the struggles that they were going through themselves, making episodes about characters like Francine, Muffy, Binky, and the Brain, all really great characters. And of course, people to this day will also still mention the few times that the show has even made pop cultural references. I remember probably one of the most famous ones was probably the short story episode where the characters, there were segments where the characters were shown as characters done in a South Park animated style, literally, and there was another story that was told through a sort of Beavis and Butthead style, and another that was done in, I think, a Dexter's Laboratory art style. So I think that was definitely one of the most memorable ones. And to me, Arthur did for PBS Kids what Hey Arnold did for Nickelodeon, and if anything, they're kind of similar in that they're very kind of slice of life shows that go over the daily lives of the characters and the lessons, the everyday lessons that they're trying to learn. And I really like that sort of storytelling style because I think it really makes the characters relatable. Before I came on here, I was watching a couple episodes. One was Finders Keepers, the one where Arthur, the Brain, and Binky were all like really tempted to get this key because each of them were thinking maybe it goes to a museum, maybe it goes to a car, maybe it's the key to the city, and things like that. And that's actually a really good example. So because instead of the characters thinking, oh, we need to learn to share this thing, you see them like, go through the struggle. They're like really tempted to like, keep the key for themselves. Each of them has like their own intentions and like hopes as far as what they want to do with the key, and they sort of learn that it was not like a very good thing to fight about, and they become friends again, but it's done in a much more like kind of realistic way, and I thought that was really good storytelling. I will say that I am one of those people because I feel like Arthur, it's one of those shows that has like a similar problem to a lot of shows that go on for years and years and years, where after the first 10 years, I couldn't really get into the episodes as much. While there were definitely, it had some, bright spots. Like I could definitely think of a couple episodes I did enjoy, even some of the more recent episodes. I felt like the majority of the episodes that came after were just like not as interesting. I also remember some people were pointing out they improved, but like some of the episodes that came in later years had a really wonky sort of flash animation style. They have improved since, and the characters like flow a lot better compared to those days, but I'm admittedly one of those people that kind of felt that the show peaked in its first 10 years, if not sooner. So even though I may not be as into Arthur as I used to be, it is still bittersweet to see the show go, since I think that the show has a really surprisingly like big legacy. I even have like friends that look at Arthur today and still say, "Oh yeah, Arthur is the shit." Literally. So, and I think it was because many of the lessons were relatable, even like even to this day. I think even people who are like my age that watch Arthur can still connect and relate to a lot of the lessons in the show, because they're still really based on like a lot of struggles that people continue to still have even down the line, and all the the things that the characters have gone through and things like that. And I think that's part of why it has such an everlasting legacy, if you will. Man, I'm even thinking, even at my former college, I remember when I would go and photograph some of the basketball games to intimidate the rival team, I noticed some of the fans would hold up a sign that has like the fist, like Arthur's fist from the Arthur's Big Hit episode, as a way to intimidate the team. So it's bittersweet to see it go, because even though I don't really watch the show that much anymore, it still has a really really big impact, even among people my age, like still have really fond memories of the show and can connect to a lot of the lessons in the show, even though it's been years since Arthur first aired. I mean, oh my goodness, 1996, that was the year I was born. So I'm really interested. So even though I know I'm not as into Arthur today, I am interested in seeing what they're going to do in the final 4 episodes. I am kind of wondering how good they're going to be. I am considering doing a review of them. But I'm mostly interested in seeing what exactly they're going to do with the grown-up versions of the characters. They've done some little, like, there were times where they would have, like, little, like, parts of the episodes where they would show older versions of the characters. Like I could think of an example where, for instance, there was an episode about baseball where Buster, they flash forward and they show Buster, who's now a grandfather, telling his grandkids about this baseball game he went to. Or I don't remember the name of the episode, but I think there was one where Arthur and Francine are now like, in older age and they're a couple. But I imagine what they're going to do with this final episode when they flash forward, and it might even be, I'm just taking a guess, I don't know for sure. I'm wondering if in the final episode they're going to look into the future through this fortune. Prunella's probably going to be involved, and they're going to see grown-up versions of themselves. I imagine they're going to look closer to how they looked in the episode about the short stories, because in the short story episode they flash forward 5 years to when they're teenagers, although I imagine they might go slightly further, well, quite a few years into the future, or where I could see them doing a thing, since the show will be ending after 25 years. I imagine we might see the characters maybe in their 30s, because most of the characters in Arthur are 8 years old, so maybe they'll be like 33. Or are we gonna see like a 29 or 30-year-old version of DW? Ooh, I wonder what that's gonna be like. So yeah, so I think most of all, I'm just really curious to see how the series ends, because at the end of the day, Arthur still remains one of my favorite TV shows, and I still think one of the best children's shows ever made. So let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of Arthur? Do you still watch it to this day, or have you fallen off? And regardless, are you interested in this finale? Leave all your thoughts down below, and until next time, this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thank you all for watching. Hi everyone, thanks for watching this Blood Moon Bobby video. Like and share the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel to see more of my videos, and ring the bell to be notified about my latest uploads. Don't forget to follow me on social media for my latest opinions and video updates. I hope to see you next time.